A good-sized crowd gathered on the Burlington Town Common this past Sunday to remember the victims of the terrible attacks of September 11th, 2001, and to pay homage to the first responders who gave their lives trying to save as many people as they could. The ceremony was also dedicated to all first responders who take it upon themselves to face dangers to keep the rest of us safe.
Well, I mean, the 5th year, the 10th year, and all the other years in between, we've always talked about those souls, those innocent souls that died that day. But I wanted to take a moment, especially this year, when there was a lot of anger and hatred against some first responders, that maybe we need to take a moment and specifically, deal with what those 343 firefighters and the 71 police officers and the 55 military personnel at the Pentagon. 127 people died in the Pentagon, but 55 were military. Thanking them and thanking our first responders for the work they do every day, the things that we cannot do and would not do. They stand between us. And I wanted to make sure that we thanked Lance Corporal Gregory McDonald also.
Today's the 15th anniversary of 9/11. I mean, it's a significant event for us. I mean, it's a significant event for all America. It's important for us to remember these type of events. It's historic for public safety and first responders. I mean, it's the most significant loss of life for us. It is important to remember.
The center of the ceremony was covered by a giant American flag made of small flags, each one adorned with the name of a first responder or member of the military killed on September 11th. There was also a big surprise unveiled during the ceremony, a beam from the World Trade Center itself. It is one of 2 given to the town that were dedicated to the Burlington Fire and Police Departments.
It was a surprise. Well, the surprise became less a surprise as we got closer to today. More people began to know about it. We did have an opportunity to get a contact name from Congressman Moulton's office. I made the call, I wrote the letter, I did the application process, and stayed in touch with them. And they were able to get us eventually 2 pieces of artifact, 2 beams, 14 feet long each, both over 700 pounds. And now it's up to the members of the fire department and the police department to decide what's the best way we can preserve that memory and how we display those 2 items.
Assistant Fire Chief Michael Patterson was one of the men who helped secure the beam for the town, and he introduced it to the crowd with an emotional speech.
I mean, it means the world to me. I mean, I was lucky enough to be part of going down to New York City with Selectman HOGAN and Ed McLean, and it was, when I look back at the end of my career, that's going to be probably one of the top 3 most memorable moments for me personally, was going down there to retrieve that piece of history. So, we lived the incident, we lived the event, we supported the Fire Department of New York, the Police Department of New York by attending funerals. We were actually on the grounds within a month of the event. As my speech today, I kind of broke down a few times, but it brings back raw emotion. Even talking or thinking about this.
Everyone agreed that having 2 pieces of the World Trade Center here in town was significant for the community.
I commend firefighter McLean and Deputy Chief Patterson and Bob Hogan for getting that piece to come to Burlington, to have something connected to the actual tragedy, to just, again, keep the memory fresh in our minds is huge, and I commend them. They did a lot of work to get it.
Oh, that's historic. I mean, we actually have tried numerous times over the years, been unsuccessful to this point, but to able to actually obtain a piece of the World Trade Center and get it, being the last day they were distributing the last pieces that were distributed, it's very meaningful to us. And be able to bring a piece of that back here where we have such a connection to the events of 9/11.
Finally, like with all ceremonies in Burlington, the turnout of residents was strong, with many people coming out to remember the victims and honor first responders.
It's an awesome turnout. I can't believe this. It's the people of Burlington, the residents, the town employees and stuff like that, and for just to see the numbers that were here on the Common today, it's incredible. It really is.
Well, this community is such a encompassing community. I knew we'd have a big turnout, and we've been impacted certainly in this community with our ties to 9/11, and the fact that we'll never forget 15 years later. It brought it to the surface again.
No idea how many people, but there was a good turnout. It was nice to see the good crowd, and we had, honor guards, and the fire department and police department turned out well, and we're always happy at that.
At the Burlington Town Common, I'm B News Director Rich Hosford.